we discovered yesterday that it was much easier if Joe just disappeared and left me to do it by myself.
Before we fully insulated this part of the ceiling and did the majority of the reflectics, spent some time trying to work out how we build the bulkhead back up. We removed the original, but we still want to have a bulkhead here because there's not really a whole load of point, in our opinion, insulating all of the van and then having a big open hole here where most of the heat and the cold will come in through all this glass and windows at the front. So we're going to close this off. What we've decided to do is have a layer of hardboard, which is going to be covered in automotive carpet on the cab side, and we're going to have a layer of reflectics with an air gap, and then a sheet of small ply over the top for the finish, and it's going to be, the top part's going to be connected into these fairing strips, and down here, which you can't see, there's one of the wooden battens that we used in the floor, and that we're going to screw the base into, and then it's just going to rest alongside. We're going to screw and glue it into the van, essentially, which seemed like the best way to do it. I know there are a few different ways, but that seemed like the best way that we could come up with. And then we've got the fairing strips in here ready for so you can have a shelf here, and for the door that we're going to make over the top of it. And once that's in, we can also put this piece of PIR board in. Yeah, obviously we'll show you the process of how we made it and the different bits and pieces. The frame for the board is all cut out and ready and taken out. Now we've got to strengthen it up and stiffen it out and create the air gap, and then put the ply on top. But let me just show you this bit of wood on the floor. It's just cut across so we can easily screw into the bottom of it. So that's that really. We'll show you the full process. As you can see, it's all laid out here in front of us. It's been built in three parts essentially. So we've got this main bit of hardboard here, and then we've got these two edges, top corners let's call them, and they all fit when not glued together. If you put them in the van individually, they all go together absolutely fine, and it looks good. So now just trying to join them all up together to give it the strength so that we can put it in the van. So to stick it together, we've got obviously a couple of drills, some 1-inch screws, and some wood glue, and I'm going to glue and screw it across the joint here, and also under here to give it a nice framing. Going to try and put some perspex in there to create a window, and then we've got these all the way down to give it some strength, also to help join the three pieces together. And then these are 90mm high from the bottom to hopefully help us attach our kitchen cabinetry to. So going to give it a go now, and I'll update you afterwards. So nearly 2/3 of the way through, it's coming together. Two things that I found helpful: a countersink in case you need to get to the screw heads, and it gives it a nice grip at the end without destroying the piece of wood. Just see there what it does. And then the addition of clamps was pretty useful as well. And then a nice, slow but steady drill speed. It's finished. Feels strong. Ready to go and see if it fits. Moment of truth. Success! He's in. Took a bit of fiddling, a little bit of sanding off the top and off one of the edges, but he's in. Pleased with how he looks. to be sturdy when it's screwed in. Going to provide a lovely template for the ply that's going to go on top, and just now need to do the reflectics, and we need to wait for the carpet to arrive to the other side, and then we can fix it in. Carpeting of the cab side is starting to take shape. Doing a good job.
Finished the carpeting. It was much easier than I thought actually, and it's turned out quite well. We think it has anyway. Used quite a lot more of the adhesive than I thought, but I can also be quite heavy-handed with it, with any kind of spray really, so I don't know if that's normal or if I just used too much of it, but I probably used about a can and a half maybe, so I had to move over onto this one, which isn't the original one we bought. The original one is, this is the original glue that we bought, so a high temperature spray adhesive glue. But yeah, here's the finished product.
First stage of the bulkhead finished. It looks really good from this side. I feel really pleased with it. Just been working on this shelf above the cab. Luckily we already had kind of a shelf here, so I didn't have to build it per se, but we are going to have to build the front of it, and we'll see the gap, because above it was just empty or clear, no door or anything, and it just had this quite big lip on the front all the way along, which I've cut most of it off and replaced it with just some spare batten that I'll use to screw the face of the cupboard too, and then just been lining it with some reflectics just so that it doesn't get damp in here. Well, it's never going to be that warm, but just so it doesn't get damp in case you want to store clothes or bedding or something up here. It's quite a good shelf for that. So I'm going to carry on shaping the front, which at the moment is a bit like this. Got to finish shaping it so it fits and then cut the hole in it. So I'm going to carry on with that now. A little update. So as you can see, they're both bits of wood are in place, all marked up, and one's got the slot cut out of it, let's say. And I've just got this other one to do here. You can see I cut the bit along the bottom with just a normal hand saw, and then drill a little hole and cut up here with a jigsaw, and then go back across with another handsaw, just get a straighter cut along there. Yeah, I think it's okay. There's obviously going to be a little join in it, but you won't see that join once there's a door over the top, and it's been covered with some vinyl or something, however we decide to finish it. Plus you've got the ceiling cladding to go on here, the fascia for this, which will sit over the top, so there's not going to be much of that join left at all. so you won't see it. Here we have one finished. Well, finished, but it's not finished, but the framing out of the shelf above the cab is finished for the day. Just out of 11mm hardboard, and we'll put a nice ply something or other over the top as a cupboard door after it's been painted and vinyled and things like that. Yeah, quite pleased with that, I would say. It's quite a lot of work for what it is, but obviously because nothing's square. But yeah, quite pleased with the end result. Today and over this weekend we're going to try and finish off the bulkhead area by putting the, I guess, finished paneling on, and then we're lining it with some vinyl wrap, which we've been testing on some other bits. We've discovered if you glue, if you put some of that glue down first, and it sticks to it a lot better. Wifey's just making a start on that now. So she's currently gluing along the top, and we're gonna wrap all along this area so that you won't see that. Also, you get a nice white edge when you open the door, and then we've got templates cut for that bit with the silver foil at the moment around the bulkhead area. So we're going to be putting that on next, and then wrapping it afterwards. And then if that goes well, we're going to be starting to construct the kitchen area. We've got a lot of the units built, and we just need to put them on the wall. We hit a little bump in the road. We got all of this up and started to fill in the gaps, and then realised that we need a slot for a battery monitor here, because we've got one battery in the front which is going to just have a few little things connected, as the battery is already there, but the existing hole we've done is not big enough, so now we've got to cut a new hole, but we can't get to any of the screws over this side. So we're going to try and cut it still attached to the wall. This could go really badly. We successfully cut a hole without removing the piece of wood from the wall. We did have to use the jigsaw though. And now Fiona's just cutting a bit of wrap for the edge, so that it will join nicely when we're putting the rest of the wrap on. And then we'll seal it all back up, put some filler on, and then we'll be able to wrap it tomorrow if it's not too cold.
It's always cold at the minute though.
Yeah, beats from the east tomorrow though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the coldest day since 2018.
Number 2. And say this is always my favourite job of any of the aluminium tape. This wrap, the wrap outside, it's trying to get the back off.
Peeling the back of the sticky bits.
The sticky bit. I think that's what I seem to spend half the day doing whenever I get anywhere near this stuff. Bloody thing.
It's good fun.
Keep getting it and then I keep dropping it. Ta-da! Well done me.
Well done you.
Yesterday we wrapped this side of the kitchen and we discovered how much more light it reflected. We carried on today and we've now wrapped Bulkhead. We discovered yesterday that it was much easier if Joe just disappeared and left me to do it by myself. But Storm.
The beast from the east.
Storm Darcy or something is here, so it's snowing again, which isn't the greatest of weather to have the van door open and attempt to wrap, but it seems to have worked. We're really pleased with it. You can see a couple of the joints, but we're planning on tiling pretty much all the way up to the joins anyway. But it also covers the tacks a lot better than we were expecting. Yeah, we've got this out. They've boxed this out quite nicely now. The windowsill, there's obviously a shelf that's going to be going on here, just to finish this bit off. So that again will hide some of the joins. I think that's about it. I look like the Michelin Man.
The
Got
first
body warmer on.
wipe clean
Yeah.
van. But it does look good. It's really clinical. I like it.
Yeah. No, yeah. Clinical probably isn't the best word because clinical isn't really a good thing, is it? But it is. It's much cleaner and reflects a lot more light. And then we're going to dry fit the kitchen now. We've only done the one unit. We haven't done this side yet. But then we're thinking of having, say the unit went to there, we're then thinking of having tiles pretty much up to the window, and that'll just break up the whiteness.